Good morning, everybody, for a fun Saturday morning at Rockingham Speedway. We have a 75-mile race this morning, halfway into the season, and it's going to be led by Alan Bledsoe after we left the race at Indianapolis. And now we're here at the big track with the rest of the other two series. We had the Pro Series race last night that was won by Adam in a dramatic finish with the top three cars spinning across the line. And that was Adam, Connor, and Paul Newton that were all involved with the checkered flag finish. And one of the cars to keep an eye on tonight, I'm going to say, is going to be Connor Mir. Not specifically because of how well he did last night, but because of how fast those Toyotas were in practice. It was nearly a 1, 2, 3, 4 at one moment during practice. So I wouldn't be surprised if they end up being the ones that will maintain the top half of the field. There's a lot of them inside the top 10 as well. So without that, let's go through the starting lineup of the race. And pole position goes to one of those Toyotas. It is Don Jones in that number 81 Sony Toyota Tundra. It starts next to Sierra Miller. That's our scholarship driver from the weekly series. Row 2 is going to have Travis Page. That's the Xfinity 51. Starting next to Brandon Walter. Good qualifying effort from Walter this morning. Robert Martin in the Safety Culture 96. He starts next to the number 10. That's Abby Jones. She starts in the Sour Strips number 10 F-150, keeping that top 10 streak alive. She has had an incredible season so far to start off her first year in the series, in the sport. Ryan DeLusso in the Exide number 5 starts next to Jeremy Henley, who has had a rough season. It's one of the best qualifying efforts he has had, and it's at such a tricky track as well. We'll see how well the Onestos 92 ends up doing. In the row behind them, we have the number 15. That's Cody Erickson in the Yahoo number 15, starting side by side with the Red Bull number 56. That's Sean Reeves. Row number 6, Connor Mir. That's the truck I think you guys should be keeping an eye on in the Ghost Energy. Welch is great, number 29. He's starting next to Trenton McPherson in the Pennzoil number 78 Chevrolet. Field continues on down to row number 7. That's Travis Miranda in truck number 35. Starts next to Alan Bledsoe, your points leader, in the 14th position. Then we head down to one of our female drivers. That is Lillian Yoakum. She's in the number 4 truck, starting next to Speedy Quinones himself in the number 99. And by the way, he has had the fastest lap turn so far this weekend, so they may not have trimmed the truck out for qualifying, but keep an eye on the number 99. Behind them, John Cittadino starting next to Team Skittles in that purple F-150. Trucks are fired up. They'll be moving here shortly. Scott Porter in the 91 is starting next to Alex Tanker in the number 87. Then it's Brandon Dempsey with Joseph Ernesto, Michael Stetter, and Robert Johnson. And to round out the field, it is going to be Marissa Miranda, who struggled in qualifying. So we're starting in the back of the pack with that Xerox number 33. This is a tricky track to race around. And reason for that is because of how tight and narrow the racing line is around this facility. So when it comes to lap traffic, it's going to be tricky for our race leaders to get around them. We saw a lot of issues with the Pro Series race when it came to that, and especially with which lines to take. You can run up to the top if you're brave enough. You can also run at the bottom, but those lines converge at the exit of the corners, and that makes it very tricky. So we'll see just how well it goes. Pace car is going to be dipping off here, and then this will be up to the green flag, man, and he gets us going. We are racing now at Rockingham. Number 81 leads us off into the first corner. Sierra Miller staying on the high side. She's going to have a great momentum and take the race lead almost immediately away from Don Jones. Brandon Walter going toe-to-toe with the 51 to start the race off as well. 51's going to try and squeeze Walter up the track. That's not going to be able to help him with the pass. And now Walter trying to get around Don Jones as well. It's been a quick start for Walter, up 2 positions, 1 every lap. And now we've got a Ford, a Chevy, and a Toyota to lead this thing, all 3 manufacturers. and it is still a heavily dominated Toyota top 10. There is only 3 other tracks on Earth there, but Walser just turned the fastest lap of the race, but it's a struggle into turn number 1. Fighting behind Ericsson on the outside with the number 96 of Robert Martin, trying to get around the Ford below them. Clean start for the race. Got through the first 4 laps without any issue. At a track like this, it did not go that way last night. There was a caution almost immediately. Saw lots of incidents out of turn number 2 where cars got spun around. I would not be surprised if we see something similar here or out of turn number 4 as well. Don Jones been trying to get back the second place position that he lost to Brandon Walter on the opening laps. Trying to use that inside lane, not working out too well for him, and that's allowed Travis Page to catch up to him. Further back, we got some movers, and that's that fastest truck that we were seeing in practice. He's currently battling with Connor Mears. Daniel Quinones is making up 5 spots so far to start the race off. Inside lane's not working out well for him, though. He's going to go backwards here. Up at the front, it's still Sierra Miller in the Dr. Pepper 14. She has led them all, took the lead on the green flag. Now, with that 1 second lead. Not bad of a start for the rookie at such a tough track. Halfway break is also currently scheduled at lap number 37. If you're new to seeing this, every time we get to the halfway without a natural caution, there is a mid-race competition caution that helps restack the field, get trucks settled in. This is one of the junior series of the sport, so this is all drivers still learning before they move up to the Pro Series or into the Premier Series. And for many of the drivers in the field, this is their first time racing in the full-body race cars. We're currently watching the battle between Stetter and Alan Bledsoe. One of the few drivers getting the inside lane to work, and that is your points leader, who's the one that's getting that done. But we got a driver right behind trying to break up the party. That's Alex Tanker. This is all for the battle for 16th, a little bit deeper into the field. One of the drivers who is absolutely struggling today, that's Citadino. He started about midway into the teens, and he has quickly dropped down to the back of the pack. Been a rough day for Team Motorsports. Seems like kind of a roller coaster of a year, no matter what series it is. They have great opportunities of running up at the front, and some races like this where they just can't seem to stay out of the back. I have to speak for myself, though. I had a horrible race last night. For like the first 3/4 of the race, was dead last, and was able to somehow rally back to a top 5 here. So anything's possible for these two drivers, but unfortunately for Team Motorsports, both of their trucks are sitting in the last place positions right now. You're seeing both of them on screen. That's team owner Joseph Ernesto to the outside of Citadino. You're on board with Cody Erickson's truck. Statters continue to discharge. He's up nearly 10 positions from where he started now. Inside the top 15 now for that number 21 truck. Bledsoe's trying to move up with him as well. Regain some of the positions he lost to start the race off. I haven't seen anything crazy so far. Doesn't look like anyone's gotten into the wall. Tire fall off should be starting to hit them in the next 10 or so laps. There's your race leader, the rookie Sierra Miller. Currently sits 5th in points, only 16 points out. Thing that they've been trying to work on is that hasn't really moved up in the field. If she qualifies, she usually finishes where she qualifies. Her average start and finishes reflect that, as they are identical. However, she has led 157 laps. That is the most in the field, but it's in a problem with closing races out, getting that tire management together. And there is no better race to learn tire management than this one. It's a 2-second lead. How long will Sierra hold on to this lead? There's also been a trend where she will lead these opening halves of the race, and after the halfway break, luck falls down and she will lose the race lead. So that's going to be the biggest thing the crew chief is going to have to go to work on with this driver, is keeping her in the right headspace for that second half of the race. Because it's going to mentally be an issue, because you know it's a problem. You know it's your weak spot. Not too far behind and starting to close that gap is Brandon Walter in that number 09 machine. Getting the Silverado moving up. Made a couple starts in the Premier Series. Highest finish was 4th this year at an open race. Did that at Daytona. That's where we did our annual open race with 59 cars that participated in the race. So he's trying to close the gap before they get to halfway. Behind them, it has stayed the same. It's Travis Page, Don Jones, and also Robert Martin in that number 96. Could be a really good race for Robert Martin. He needs some of these good points. He currently sits 7th in the points, but it is a very close gap in where he is sitting. He could easily jump up a couple positions with a good top 5 finish here today. Then it's Cody Erickson behind. Him and Sean Reeves, both of these two Toyotas are up 3 spots from where they started. They're not in the same organization, but they are certainly affiliate race teams. And the teammate to Sierra Miller, this is the second driver out of the Tom Brad development team. This is Abby Jones. Dropped a couple spots from the green flag, but has maintained position of where she has started. And Trenton McPherson right behind. He has moved up a bunch. He's now inside the top 10 and got around Henley a few laps ago. And so far, Henley's hanging on here. Even though he did lose spots, this is so much better from where he normally races. We've seen him go several laps down before without hesitation. I think the worst he finished was about 4 or 5 laps down under a long green flag stint. And these races aren't that long, so going down that many laps is a lot for this series. And as Team Motor Connor Mir catching up to the back door, that number 92. One of the fun things about this track is just how high the banking is here. There are steep turns in 1 and 2. We're going to ride on board with Sierra Miller, and you can just see the difference here. This is the gyro cam keeping itself level, so you'll see how much these trucks rotate in the corners. That was on board the number 14. Catching up to lap traffic, this will be a moment that'll be crucial, and also this will show that when we get to the second half of the race that they will be catching up to this lap traffic. So this will be important for Sierra to get early practice on how to negotiate and move around these slower trucks, because that could be an opportunity for Brandon Walter to then catch up and try and take the race lead away from Miller if she's not able to get around the trucks fast enough. The halfway break is in about 9 laps. Looks like those first trucks that are going to go lap down are those pair of Team Motorsports trucks. Combined, they've lost 10 positions since the drop of the green flag. Oh, it's been a rough day for them. Let's see how well she can negotiate. Get into the back bumper of the 72. This is going to be the first time that Sierra's going to be dealing with the dirty air for this race. See how well this truck can handle. Gonna try the inside line here. Just taking a peek to the inside. The reason why is as the truck starts to really wear on tires, if you can get it welled up and slow it down, you can just ride that inside line. And this is the part that's crucial. That could be the struggle for the number 14, as now the 09 has completely caught to the back bumper, because it is so difficult to pass and move around at this racetrack because of that line convergence at the exit of the corners. And now Walter is going to try and use this as an opportunity to take the race lead from Sierra Miller to the inside of the number 14 now. Three lap trucks ahead, and she dives into the corner, goes to the outside of number 62. This move is called using the lap truck as a pick. It's blocking the other line from the driver who is trying to get the position on you. You can also use it for trying to make a pass, and that's to use that slower truck as a roadblock, essentially, to make the pass or defend your position. 09's going to be cutting through traffic, following the number 14. He's got another truck here to make an opportunity happen, and now he's going to choose the outside. And that'll be the race lead. Momentum out the corner where Walter will be the advantage. So first lead change of the race, and it's going to be 3 laps to the halfway break. Sierra Miller loses it to Brandon Walter, new race leader. And this is going to be the important part now, is for Sierra to not lose that mental grip on her truck and fall to more positions behind and try and regain these positions. Halfway break coming up. Sierra's got one more chance at this. However, I think it might be smart just to hang out here in second because she can restart in that second spot. The advantage goes to the outside lane. As soon as they go into turn number 1 on the next lap, it will be thrown. And there it is. Alright, so the yellow flag is out for no incident. This is the scheduled halfway break of the race. This has actually been a couple races since we've had to use this. So we had that early incident at Indy the week before, and Portland was a crazy race. We've had back-to-back winners of Alan Bledsoe. That was the Ford of Reckless Racing out of him. And now, let's see, waiting for the field to catch up. Yeah, this will be a good point shakeup because Bledsoe was 13 points ahead of second place, which is tied between Alex Tanker and Abby Jones. Tanker's not up here either, so this is going to be, or could be, a good point stay for Abby Jones. We'll see if anybody comes down pit road. We are getting some takers. I am surprised to see the driver of Sierra Miller staying out here. That is not the right move. But it's not going to be the only truck making that move. Daniel Quinones and Travis Miranda, Ryan DeLusso, Team Skittles, Michael Stetter, Alan Bledsoe, your points leader, Scott Porter, Lillian Yoakum, all decide that they want to stay out as well. Now we have seen at a couple of the races so far this season that after the halfway break, chaos ensues. So this could be strategy on their part, anticipating a yellow to happen in the next 10 or so laps on the restart. And then they would have fresher tires for the end. So that could be the move. But I'm surprised to see that Sierra Miller is going to try that because that is such a fast race truck. But maybe that was the reason why she couldn't pass. And wants to try and get those fresher tires for the end. Race off pit road went to Brandon Walter, who was the first one in. Fastest pit stop was Travis Page's crew with a 14:17. No, I lied. It's actually a 13:65 by Connor Mears' crew. And that's going to be because they got that Premier Series experience. But what a lightning fast pit stop for the number 29 truck. Lap trucks getting sent to the back. Double file with lights on the pace car being out. That is the indication that we are going to be going green flag and next time around. Be the second half of the race. We're going to have 34 laps to do it. Pace car heads off. It's up to Sierra Miller. Green flag's out. She leads us away. Daniel Quinones right on the outside. And don't forget, this top 9 trucks didn't pit. So we'll see just how much the tire disparity is. And it is a massive one at this racetrack. So look for seeing a huge stampede in the middle here. Connor trying to get some immediate positions. Almost 4 wide being sent. Rocketing on the outside to number 15 of Cody Erickson. Now go side by side with Travis Miranda. He is picking him off like no tomorrow. Position after position for Cody Erickson on the fresh tires. 3 wide behind. We stay clear. Little bit of contact. This is all in the difference of tires. Another position gained for Cody Erickson. The fresh tires firing off immediately from ninth to first place. Trying to set up on the inside line here, crowding the number 14 to the outside. And takes the lead with such ease. And that is the difference of new tires versus used tires. Let's go back and watch that restart here. Jumping back a little bit more. Just watch how he will launch this truck on the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions gained in one corner for the number 15, and fires off a couple more off the exit. That is just the difference of tires, and now has that race lead. And storming away with 1.5 seconds here for the number 15 out of TXS. Number 15, my bad. How about this? Henley just set his fastest lap of the race on a good strategy today and put in number 72. Look at this. They're already lapping trucks. That is how slow those trucks are going to end up being. I got to give it to number 14 of Sierra Miller. She is holding up these trucks the best that she possibly can. It's not going to go well for the remaining 30 or so laps we have in the race, but that's impressive for the used tires. We saw the stampede of the 15. There goes the number 96 of Robert Martin. He's getting that pass completed. But the 14 is hanging on. 56 trying to force 3 wide. She denies it, but using the momentum up top to prevent as much as she possibly can. She will inevitably continue to lose spaces. Here comes Henley in the 92. Get almost had contact there with the 14 mid-corner. He lost the front end of that race truck and almost took the 14 out mid-corner. And that's even a truck with fresh tires. Having to chase it back up. That's allowed Don Jones to catch up as well. And now it's a 5-second lead for truck number 15. Cody Erickson has said bye-bye to the race field. Entering one corner while the others are leaving another. If there's anything that number 15 truck wants, he does not want a caution. He is loving this race lead. Another driver taking opportunity. The fresh tires, Robert Johnson, who was mired in the back of the field. He's now about 10 positions. Going to be stuck here on the inside line here for a second. We've got a whole pack of trucks right here, and that is because Travis Miranda trying to hold off these trucks with those worn tires. Michael Stetter as well on the worn tires. So not much able to be moved when they're side by side here like this. Blocking Trenton McPherson behind. That's Trenton there, trying to look to the inside of this number 21 of Stetter, the Dr. Pepper machine that's up on the top. The one with the fresh tires is that yellow Chevrolet on the bottom. Going across the front stretch. Keep speaking out. Making sure he's in the rearview mirror of that 21, letting him know he's there. Gonna get a good run here. Once again, looking to the inside. Can't quite take it side by side. That is the dirty air. We look at our top five. It is a stacked Toyota top five, all in the fresh tires. Only one separating them is Walter between Connor. And there's three of them that are outside of it on an alternate strategy. Besides Paige, who didn't get the benefits of the fresh tires like his teammate did. And he's slowly trying to get some more positions here, but not working out too well for him. Marissa's also enjoying those fresh tires, going from nearly last to now riding around in the mid-pack. Sierra's droppage continues down to the 8th position now, and again, this has been the story of her season so far. This is about where she finishes on average. And once again, it's going to be a strategy call that's going to fail her. She should be able to get to the end of the race, no problem, without having to have a pit stop. So it's not like it's just going to have to pit and go a lap down. But if there is a caution, that'll completely change it because you'll have much fresher tires. Because you will pit at that point. And I'd be curious to see if the rest of the field would answer. Don't forget there's a race tomorrow morning. That's the big one of the weekend. That's the FARCA Premier Series. Chase race number 2 out of 8. We're getting to crowning our 10th champion. This was one of the most popular races that we've had on the schedule. In terms of a few years ago, driver Jay Langelier, who stormed through the field in the most aggressive way possible. Also one of our highest viewed races from the previous season as well. So we look forward to see what kind of action it will be with 43 cars on the field instead of the 25 that we have for the Truck Series. I think one of the craziest incidents we had was going into turns 1 and 2. Driver lost control and ended up flipping down the banking. Sarah Miller under fire from her teammate Abby Jones. She was one of the drivers that came down and pitted. 15 laps to go, and it is a 4-second lead for our race leader, who is now going to be in trouble. Lap traffic. This was what was hard for Sierra Miller at the opening half of the race. It ended up losing the race lead to Brandon Walter. And look at how fast that lead crumbles when he's stuck behind the lap trucks. He is able to get around those. But Martin ticking away at more time, but he's going to have to be able to navigate just as well as Ericsson did. Up to the back bumper of the truck of Speedy Quinones. First trucks going a lap down are the ones that did not pit. Cody's trying to do a little better. A little bit of clean air. This will help build a gap. Goes to the inside here of the 77 truck. This is going to be going to put down a lap on all the way up to 14th position. The hardest part is going to be once they start reaching trucks that are closer on speed, because that's going to be harder and harder to pass the faster and faster trucks. So we'll see just how well Ericsson does. He puts Marissa a lap down. Now has 2 more in this pack. Still trying to work on it. However, it's not becoming an issue because Martin himself there in the second place, he's struggling as well. And he's being challenged by third place. So while they're battling for getting around the lap trucks, they're also going at it for position 56, trying to get around the 96. The 4.5 second lead here for Ericsson with 9 laps to go. And the driver who is leading this thing, where he currently sits in points, is 14th. So this will be a huge points day. It's going to be a long crawl. They have to be a lot more consistent this year if they want to have a chance at the championship. But we'll see what Cody Ericsson can do. But this is a race that's going to hopefully inflate their egos a little bit more than where it has been and help them bring some better trucks to the second half of the season. They will be following the main series for the rest of the way. Next weekend, they'll be at Nashville Fairgrounds. Then it's Chicagoland, and one more small track after that, Oxford Plains Speedway. That's going to be a fun one for these trucks. They continue to battle on back. Positions being toyed around with the Henley truck. With Don Jones there to the outside, tempting 3 wide. Robert Martin under fire on that inside lane, struggling. Don Jones trying to use this as an advantage as well. Connor Muir getting some last minute positions. 3 wide down the front stretch. All 3 of these trucks are for position. Keep in mind that for all of our offline races like this one, we do not have any overtime. Everything goes to scheduled distance. So if there is an accident within 3 laps to go, that is usually the end of the race. We stay at scheduled distance. Credit to Don Jones there, making that 3 wide pass happen. Henley staying behind. Still now an almost 5.5 second lead for Cody Ericsson, who still is trying to struggle on getting around this 77. If these guys had stopped battling with each other, maybe they'd have an opportunity to catch Cody Ericsson leading this thing, and Reeves, that is now finally broken away. Wishing that there was 13 laps to go, not 3 laps to go. You'll see he's chopped about a second off of the race lead after clearing the pack. Ericsson just can't quite clear these guys. They're battling, trying to stay in the lead lap because positions matter. 87 there. That is Alex Tanker there on the outside for Douglas Motorsports. That is a truck trying to stay on the lead lap. 2 to go here at Rockingham. It'll be white flag next time by. In a race that was initially dominated by Sierra Miller, who then fell away to lap traffic, was passed by the number 09 of Brandon Walter, who is currently in the 4th spot. Pit strategy ended up being the biggest key here, and it was one of the wildest outside passes we've seen all season in the truck series, of Cody Ericsson making a 6 truck pass. on the outside lane, just had full faith in the truck, ripped the fence, and got the move done, and was able to separate himself from the fresh tires. And it's going to be the reason why he wins today. Cody Erickson wins a Super Truck 75 at Rockingham Speedway. TXS Racing gets their first truck win. That's going to be an important one for the team as well. And it's a double top 10 because Travis Page ends up getting the 10th position as well. That's a fantastic effort for that race team. And how about Toyota with a 1-2-3 finish, only separated by Brandon Walter before they have another 3 trucks of Henley getting his career best Truck Series finish. And it's Connor Meir who is going to bring it home in the 6th spot with Robert Martin and Abby Jones, the pair of the TBD drivers, in 8th and 9th, and Travis Page to round out your top 10. So we can get these results up on the website right away. You can log on to UnitedRacingDesigns.com or go to FARCA.tk to view results and also see what the next races are going to be for all the individual series. You're also able to join on United Racing Designs if you want to be participating in both the offline AI races or if you want to race with us online as well. Our 10th year anniversary. Been doing this since 2014. Had a couple off years. Race results are up. Everything looks good. Let's check and see who's going to be leading the points now. It was Alan Bledsoe before who had that advantage of 13 points over Alex Sanker and Abby Jones going into this race. And now, halfway through the season, it's still Alan Bledsoe, but he has lost that gap he had on the field quite significantly because Abby Jones and Sierra Miller are 2nd and 3rd, separated by just 9 points in total over Alan Bledsoe. So, gap has dwindled quite significantly. Sierra Miller still is the driver with the most amount of laps led, jumping up to 194 laps led in the season, nearly half of them. And yet, no race win. And only 1 top 5 finish. So if they can figure something out to get those finishes going for truck number 14, it could be game over for the rest of the field. Sierra's got a really fast truck, just has to be able to get it done. And don't forget, tomorrow morning at the same time, we have the Premier Series race. 43 cars will take it here. We have 45 entries, so 2 cars will be going home. And we'll be closing the season out. And once again, let's check out this pass here from Cody Erickson. Because that was one of the greatest we've seen. That is just so impressive. That's what ended up getting the win. That's a good way to kill an hour. There we go. Everything is up. Everything is finished from this race weekend for the truck. So we'll see you guys next week at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. And tomorrow morning for the Premier Series.